Have you ever had one of those experiences that makes you seriously question what you think you know about reality? Most of us assume that ghosts, spirits, the paranormal, those are just myths and legends used to scare children around a campfire. But what if the true terrors are the ones that defy our rational understanding completely? I want to take you through 3 recent, utterly inexplicable experiences my friends and I endured at various Airbnb vacation rentals. Spine-chilling accounts that will make you think twice about assuming you're alone in that quaint cabin or historic apartment the next time you book a cozy weekend getaway. We'd been planning our fall couples trip for months, a quiet weekend in rural Maryland, staying at a rustic old farmhouse Airbnb in the countryside. The perfect way to unwind and maybe do a little hiking through the colorful autumn foliage. But any sense of peace was shattered the moment we pulled into the driveway that evening. Our dog Milo, normally the most energetic pup, immediately started acting skittish and anxious, stubbornly planting his paws against going inside. Laura felt it too. She looked at me with furrowed brows and said, "I thought the host would still be here when we arrived. It feels like someone's home." A weird, unshakable vibe that someone or something was waiting just on the other side of that front door. Gathering our nerve, we cautiously entered and did a walkthrough, calling out tentative hellos to be met only with deafening silence. Yet no matter where we went, that eerie presence felt attached to us somehow. Unnervingly close. Laughter from a sitcom we put on to fill that tense quiet did little to ease our nerves. And poor Milo spent the entire evening anxiously pacing from window to window, growling and barking at seemingly nothing over and over. No amount of scolding could calm him. But the real night terrors began around 3 a.m. A closet light inexplicably turned itself on, the pull string swaying slightly. Laura and I both insisted we hadn't moved from bed. That's when we noticed Milo staring dead ahead, unblinking, his whole body trembling. Slowly, he started forward on a menacing growl, stalking toward a dark space under the bed as if hunting his prey. We tore apart the room searching for mice, raccoons, any rational explanation until utter fatigue forced us back to unconsciousness. The next day, no words could soothe the residual angst burrowed into our bones. I admitted the paralytic dread I felt to Laura, who gravely confessed she had glimpsed a dark silhouette standing inside that closet when the light turned on, obscured in the shadows. She wants to go back someday to face what could only be described as an unnervingly sentient presence that attached itself to our stay at that godforsaken house. I still have nightmares about whatever was hunting beside Milo under that bed. Another couple we're friends with decided to rent a cozy log cabin in the Great Smoky Mountains for a long weekend getaway skiing and exploring the slopes. Newlyweds Michael and Kendra expected crisp mountain air, a fireplace ambience, and overall tranquility far away from the bustle back home. But that idyllic scene went awry the first night there. They were binge-watching Netflix shows when a distinct childlike giggle suddenly pierced the quiet living area where they were cuddled up. Both froze, eyes scanning the dimly lit cabin with grim realization that no kids could possibly be there. When the strange giggling started up again in the adjacent room, Michael bolted upright, practically fleeing outside into the sub-zero temperatures for a breather with Kendra cautiously following behind. It sounded like a little girl just laughing right inside with us in there. Despite keeping the bedroom light on through the night, they were awakened by blood-curdling hysterics echoing from the hallway. Shrieks of laughter that felt less than innocent and worryingly malicious this time. Neither Michael nor Kendra remembers exactly when the laughter subsided into uneasy slumber again. Only that the sunrise meridian couldn't arrive soon enough for them to gather their things and put as many miles between them and that cabin as humanly possible. Our friend Hector is an amateur paranormal investigator who actually seeks out opportunities to document unexplained phenomena at reportedly haunted Airbnb properties whenever he travels. A few months ago, he booked a notoriously haunted plantation mansion on the Hawaiian island of Kauai called the Menehune Inn. According to local legends, the original property was built in the 1800s using the forced labor of a Menehune tribe, only for the workers to face brutal reprisals from the landowners. Many were outright massacred and buried underneath various structures to keep their anguished spirits tethered to that cursed earth. Understandably, Hector was thrilled at the chance to potentially gather evidence of these restless souls manifesting. He was ready with all his gear: thermal cameras, EVP recorders, EMF detectors, you name it. But nothing could have prepared him for what happened on the second evening around 3 a.m. after an uneventful first night. A torrential downpour of human blood started cascading down the walls, drenching Hector's bed and gear in real, horrifyingly viscous vital fluids. Convulsing in shock, Hector sloshed through the thickening puddles of gore streaming down the immaculately wallpapered room, praying it was just some freak plumbing accident. Until he peered upwards and gaped in sheer terror at the contorted faces and anguished expressions of the Menehune victims literally emerging from the wallpaper itself. Their gaunt, desiccated corpses began sloughing free, clawing through the rapidly decaying paints and materials to amass around Hector's bed in an unspooling circle of dripping horror. Wild, milky eyes pleading silently for a merciful end to eternities of torment. Transfixed by pure dread, Hector's fatalistic screams to be awoken from this waking nightmare went unheeded. As the hellish swarm collapsed in quivering, blood-flecked spasms across his blankets seizing his limbs. In a unified rictus of exquisite anguish, a cruel, bone-shuddering communion with their ghastly purgatory finally attained. So let this be a warning to anyone considering staying at an Airbnb with even the faintest ghost stories clinging to its walls. Tread very carefully indeed, or you may find your own eternal rest abruptly and horrifically awaiting check-in alongside its damned residents.